Welcome back. A new bill in the North Carolina legislature called the No Veteran Left Behind Act could mean a world of difference for veterans in that state. It aims to help improve encounters between first responders and veterans in a crisis pilot program that targets several counties with high veteran population. To discuss, let's bring in a member of the Independence Fund, Sam Johnson, North Carolina's Speaker of the House, Tim Moore, and North Carolina's Majority Leader in the State House, John Bell. Thank you all for being with us.
Thank you, Mr. Spicer.
Thank you for having us.
Sam, let me start with you. If this is approved, the Independence Fund will oversee this pilot program. So first off, why is it being implemented in North Carolina? And do you expect to see it expand to all 50 states if it's successful in North Carolina?
So again, Mr. Spicer, I want to thank you for allowing us to be on here today. So the Independence Fund, founded in 2007 with the mission to assist catastrophically wounded, ill, and injured veterans and their families. And we are headquartered in Charlotte. And one of the things that we continue to see with our veterans is that they have so much in common with our first responders and law enforcement. And there has been so many times where the veteran has an issue and they just don't know exactly how or where to get the help. And this program, starting in North Carolina, is just a way that we can work with our local governments that have a large veteran population and really build on that relationship and that commonality to ensure the safety of our first responders, but also the mental health and well-being of our veterans.
You know, Representative Bell, you introduced this legislation. What was your goal in doing that? And is it the relationship with the Independence Fund that really wanted you to have them be this pilot program, or what was sort of the impetus for this?
Well, you know, over the last 10 years since Republicans took the majority here in North Carolina, we really put a focus on being the most military-friendly state in the country. And so each year, the speakers get us directive to look at opportunities to enhance that. And you know, we do have an issue here with our veterans and trying to make sure their quality of life is of the highest regard. And the Independence Fund being right here in our backyard, all of our 100 counties have some type of military impact. Our second largest economic impact here in the state is our military. And so it just made sense.
Speaker Moore, there are some really sad statistics when it comes to veterans. Right now, 20 veterans die each day by suicide. The Department of Defense reported a 25% increase in suicides in the last quarter of 2020. Do you think that this bill can actually help address what's going on with that?
Sean, we know that there are many unmet mental health needs out there faced by so many of our veterans. The statistics simply do not lie. While many brave men and women have come back from combat, we know many of them have lost their lives once they've gotten back, due in large part to untreated and in some cases undiagnosed mental health conditions. And I tell you, I just want to give a special shout out to the Verardos for the work that they've done. You know, they of course highlighted the issues with physical disability. But what often gets overlooked are those facing psychological issues, traumatic conditions. And we know that this pilot program that we're looking at, which is really going to target those counties with the highest veteran populations, is going to be a great partnership both in the mental health side, but also in law enforcement, because you can imagine if you have a veteran who's having some kind of mental health issue and runs into a law enforcement official, those conditions need to be handled and those encounters need to be handled in a special way. So additional training and understanding to look for a lot of those cues is also helpful. So we also want to thank the sheriffs around the state who have also agreed to partner with this program.
Sam, real quick, in light of what's going on now with policing being a big topic in this country, do you think that part of the reason for this is going to help veterans interact with first responders, and why does that need to be part of the focus?
So I feel that you've got to start from the very beginning in educating all the stakeholders that are involved. And these stakeholders include the local community, your local veteran service organizations, your law enforcement, but also your 911 dispatchers. And it starts from there. In the state of North Carolina, we have an initiative called Ask the Question. And it's ask the question, have you ever served, versus are you a veteran? And that simple question.
Okay, so explain to viewers, Sam, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but explain to viewer why that makes a difference.
Yeah, so if you ask the question of are you a veteran, most veterans won't actually say yes. And the reason being is because they see a veteran as someone that served in combat, that's a war hero, when actually a veteran is just those who have served before, and they're more attuned to say that they have served or are a service member than they are to say, I am a veteran.
That's fascinating. When I saw what you guys were doing and I thought about that, it just had never occurred to me, you know, that, and especially for those of us who are still serving, that there's sort of a weird dichotomy of thinking yourself as a veteran when you're still kind of part of the system. Representative Bill, obviously the speaker's here with us, so that's a good sign that you got you being the majority leader, he's the speaker. That's leadership support. We got that. Do you guys have bipartisan support?
We do. The speaker is actually a primary sponsor on the bill, along with myself. We've got military veterans that serve now in the House that are on board. We've got both parties, both Republican and Democrat, on board, and then even to the point to where our state military affairs committee is supportive. So it's a big effort, once again, to make sure that we're the most military-friendly state in the country and help get these veterans and these sheriffs the training and tools they need.
All right, Mr. Speaker, before we go, you're responsible for getting it through the House. Do you think this is going to make it through the Senate and get signed by the governor?
We feel very confident this is going to be passed into law because, look, we all know our veterans deserve more than a discount at a big box store and a free appetizer on Veterans Day. They really deserve the full investment of the federal government and of the state government. And, you know, this program, in any way it can help, we know it's important, and I have full confidence that it is absolutely going to get passed into law.
Gentlemen, thank you for what you're doing for veterans, and I hope North Carolina becomes the most friendly veteran states, and then every other state tries to beat you, because the more our states can be focused on doing things like you are leading in doing, the better for our nation to recognize those who serve. So thank you all. I appreciate you being here and sharing the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spicer.
You bet. All right, more Spicer and Company after the